Hey first graders, it's really hard to believe that this is our last assignment in first grade, and it's a really fun one where you get to be creative. You should be about finished with your animal report, and you may need to look back in your animal report to help you. We are going to finish up with making our animal diorama. In your diorama, you need to have your shoebox. That's what you will use. Notice these pictures here. I'll make it nice and big. And whatever animal you did your research project on, or you did your report on, that's the habitat you're going to build inside the shoebox. It's called a diorama. If you did a giraffe, let's say you have toys already at home, you can use a toy as your animal, or as you could draw a picture on just like a white piece of paper and cut it out and glue them in the background. You could go on Google and search your animal and print off whatever you would like. You get to be creative. You could go actually outside. Like I'm outside right now, you could go collect grass or some rocks or different things to add in there. You also have tissue paper you can use too that is inside green and blue. So go back and look in your report and see where your animal lives. That's its habitat, and make it the best you can. See if your animal, if he's good at camouflaging, like maybe the whale can camouflage, see if you can kind of get him to camouflage in with his diorama too in the habitat. So here are some different examples. So first you need to think, if I have an elephant, where would my elephant live? Here's one where they actually painted. That's probably a little tricky. You wouldn't have to do that. If you have paint, go for it. Tissue paper you could use, like in the, could add some blue tissue paper for the ocean. You could use construction paper, anything you have at home, you get to be creative and use. So remember, a habitat is a place where an animal or a plant normally live. Some different habitats would be like the forest. You can make a forest, depending on if that's where your animal lives. If I'm doing a polar bear, I don't want to put a polar bear in the forest because that's not where he lives. It has to be nonfiction, has to be true, okay? A rainforest, maybe your animal lives in. Here's some pictures to show you what a rainforest would look like. A desert, a cave maybe you need to make your habitat diorama out of. Maybe a grassland. Or the Arctic, and that'd be easy to show your animal camouflaging or blending in. Here is some, or maybe the ocean. Lakes and ponds, those are different habitats. So we're just gonna look at a couple. So the polar bear, what would its habitat be? Some friends have already done this, I know, with their teacher. It'd be in the Arctic. If you had like a cobra snake, he could camouflage with the sand in the desert. The deer would go into the forest. Maybe a prairie dog or gopher in here, come down. Clownfish in the ocean, a frog, his habitat or diorama, I'd have to make like a lake or a pond. Cave, and then the bird in the rainforest. So those are some examples of you need to know your habitat. Look back in your report. And here's some different guidelines to help you. Be sure that your box is covered on the inside. No cardboard should be showing. Include at least 3 little details like trees, plants, ponds, seashells, coral, whatever would be in your animal habitat. And if possible, only if you can, because not all animals need to do this, show your animal using camouflage. So make it kind of tricky, like he's hiding inside. So remember, you can use any resources that you want. Have fun and take a picture. We can't wait to see them all.